So this topic was born out of when Janelle and I first moved into our house, and we had no curtains and no drapes or anything like that. And so what I was wondering about is there something in or around your home that kind of gives you the like heebie-jeebies or the creeps every once in a while? Because my background for that is when we first moved in, we didn't have any blinds and we didn't have any like curtains. So it would be weird knowing like if it's dark outside, somebody's could peer into your window. And like where we live, because we're back along the wood line and we're kind of out there, like it just kind of gives you that creepy feeling. But now it's our front door. It has that glass design in it. And so it gets the reflection off of like a nightlight in the house. And every once in a while, like before I go to bed, I always go check, make sure the door's locked, no outside lights on or whatever. And it almost looks like there's headlights coming up the driveway. And it with me every time. And it's the reflection in that thing. But I'll put my face on the like glass looking out thinking there's somebody there. And
now, when you do that, do you
shut
off the inside lights if somebody is out there they can't see you coming through the window?
Oh, no. I just look out the window like a big dummy.
I always shut the lights off so they can't see me in case they're out there.
Yeah. But it's like, it's weird. Like, so it kind of makes it creepy. Like our home is very inviting. It's very warm. I mean, it's lived in, 3 kids, 2 dogs. Like it's, it's not a Taj Mahal of, it's clean. I mean, we keep a tight ship there, but it's just one of those features in your home where you're like, that's kind of, it can be kind of creepy sometimes. Kind of eerie when it's quiet outside and still. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if I have one of those. I mean, there's things that I think are creepy, but not like a certain spot in my house. Normally it's like a sound outside, and like blind spots worry me, like places that I can't see from a window easily.
Once you get that mode in, you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah. Because then I'll know.
Yeah, you'll know for sure.
We're gonna have to have a lot of subscribers.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one expensive gator pond.
Well, especially because we're heating it. The gators are probably the cheaper part. We get them from China.
I think we just go take them from Florida.
There's gators in China.
Yeah, at the
Temu plant,
one of the zoos, or when we went to the Cincinnati Zoo, they had like a Chinese Chinese alligator or crocodile.
Oh bullshit!
Chinese tiger.
They called Asian tigers.
Yeah. Anyways.
So my current house doesn't really have anything other than the fact that we live on a dead end road in the woods. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of shit. Screech owls, stuff like that going to Dave's point, like where the sounds and shit like that. You go outside in the back deck in the pool in the summertime, you know what I mean? And, we're out there floating around and you hear a freaking big old owl let a screech out, what was that? Or, you hear something walking through the woods and in the just fall time in the night, crunching, just crunching, hornet out there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with a chainsaw, cutting trees firewood. Down, cutting firewood, which ever since he switched jobs, he ain't been out there.
No, them early mornings.
He ain't been moonlighting much anymore, but, yeah, no, the house that I lived in before that I lived in Huntingburg, that son of a bitch was haunted as shit, which I think we talked about that a little bit.
We've dipped our toes in those waters.
We can revisit that a little while longer if we want, but I mean, yeah, we were talking about that today. As a matter of fact, me and my brother Cesar, we were talking about like, well, we were on Sycamore Street.
Okay.
And we were going behind Sycamore Street. There's an alley that runs off of 3rd and goes back around Sycamore, and it tees back into Sycamore. And some friends of ours that lived on Sycamore Street, they grew up there on the hill on the left side there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that house was haunted as shit back in the day.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Like, according to what my buddies Jake told me and Hannah and
that crew.
Lee, the older ones too, they all could corroborate together.
Well, you remember as a kid, like basements were...
Oh, yeah.
Dark basements were the biggest.
Maxwell Mason are still to this day. is a big fat puss bag and won't go downstairs hardly without, threatening of punishment. Like if he needs to go down there, like get your ass down there and get your laundry out of the bathroom. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I'll get it tomorrow when I take a shower. Like, no, you go down there now, like, oh, he's getting better, but I didn't like, I was scared of the dark. I'll tell you the most terrifying moments of my life growing up, I'm talking feeling the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, like scared to death, walking to your tree stand in the morning with trying not to use your flashlight like you're walking on a nice trail.
Just knowing Bigfoot could be out
And
there
then
getting ready to
bury his.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just click your headlamp on just long enough to make sure you can see your reflective tacks that you're going the right way. Then you shut it off and keep going. That's terrifying. I'm not a big fan of the dark. But yeah, my parents' basement always had open backed stairs.
Oh.
And my great grandma's house always had open back stairs. My current house does not have open back stairs.
Has termites.
Reach out and grab you.
That it did. It doesn't anymore
Yeah.
that I know of. But that would be something that's terribly creepy for me. That would be if it was in my home or around it. Would be open back stairs.
Yeah.
Can't stand that.
I don't know, the dark, that sometimes when I walk up from your house, because I don't have a fancy buggy like Dave or a golf cart, well, you have a fancy buggy too. So I walk up the driveway, and on some of them nights,
Loser.
I know the old controller of the purse strings. But there's every once in a while there in the woods, like you just feel like something's watching you, and it gets you.
When we were younger and we would go on night hikes,
It seems like a silly idea.
we would go on night hikes, and
When you were a Boy Scout,
if there were a group of people and we were walking, if you were behind the flood of the flashlight, you know what I mean? Like the flashlight's here and we're all walking, like you could, most trails you could run, the walking trails, you get too wide on or whatever like that. But if you were the last one in line and you were behind the beam of the floodlight, like that, whoa, get up here. Oh, hold on a minute now. You know what I mean? Like, because that there's something behind you getting ready to snatch you up and drag you in the woods and
cornfields.
eat you. You know what I mean? Like
Cornfields.
Yeah.
So like our house, it's always nice when it's beans, and it's been beans the last couple years. But when they do corn and it gets to that part where, and I think it's all about like that
The
perspective of you can't see what's coming. And you see so many movies where they're like,
Old Malachi.
Yeah.
Have old Malachi come out and say hi to you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you ever watch Children of the Corn?
Once you do, Malachi.
Yeah.
I'm not a scary movie guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not anymore.
I'm a big puss.
The,
I hate them.
When I was a kid, the first home I have the recollection of is on Cherry Street, right across from the park.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on Cherry Street for a while, and then Mom and Dad had bought property out on 500 West, and where they were, would end up building, and that's where we spent the most of our childhood. But there was a hot stretch there. That house on the corner of First and
It goes Cherry, Argem, Washington, Van Buren.
Van Buren. Yeah, so it was on First and Buren. That old house right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we lived in there for a hot minute.
Oh, really?
And it had old school, and I'm just trying to remember this from being a kid, but old school wood floors.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be times like I can remember as
Boards
a kid, you're
creaking and
laying in
shit.
bed,
Ooh.
and you think somebody's walking up and down the hallway, and nobody's awake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in aliens, but I believe in ghosts.
What if they're the same thing?
No chance. Brother Elon would tell us.
That house in Huntingburg was haunted as hell, man. I'm talking shit go flying off the counter while we're sitting there in the living room. Sink turn off and on by itself. Doors lock. A lot of weird shit. Yeah. I don't know. It was fucked up. Like we talked, she was on the verge of like calling a priest to come to the house and like, all right, I can't do this anymore.
Your house is built on.
But it was all like there was nothing harmful. Like we didn't wake up with like gouges
Blood.
in our forehead and dead cats in our sinks or nothing weird, like that. And
That's like what is it? The Amityville horror house there, where
whorehouse.
no,
Ugh, spooky.
that's not in Amityville. That's Wheatland.
Horror house.
Horror.
The Amityville horror house. Gotcha.
Where they, they said like the house made him do that.
Yeah.
Murders and stuff. I don't know. It's crazy. But
There was a fellow that I used to work with in my previous life that lived in Davies County, Indiana, and there was a big old monster murder back in the 30s, I think it was. We'll have to look it up, but he claims up and down that his property, he lives where that old house used to stay, and it was kind of like an stand. It was kind of like an Amityville type thing where a dude just came home, wiped out his whole squad.
Oof.
And then they ended up burying him in a fence row. And he's like, I could show you where they didn't even, like, it's just a rock. Like, they didn't even put his name on it. It was such a disgrace. And he said, oh, yeah, man, you'd be sitting out here in the middle of an afternoon and no cars going by or nothing. You can hear kids laughing and shit in the front yard and stuff like that, all kinds of weird shit like that. And a younger kid that was friends with this guy's daughter would go over and hang out all the time. He's like, I wouldn't spend the night there. That, no way. I don't even know how he lives there anymore. Like, it was hella haunted. I don't know. That gives me the creeps.
But it's kind of like exciting.
It's very exciting. I know, but you ain't got nothing like that? Nothing? No? Nope.
The guy that'll believe in Sasquatch,
Fuddy-duddy.
aliens coming out of the oceans.
Well, that's good because his topic ought to tie right into this one.
Be great.